Hi there. I'm going to show you a self-massage for the feet. So I'm going to move my camera down here where you can see my feet. So you can sit in Sukhasana on a prop if that's more comfortable. And you're going to bring your foot towards you first. Taking your opposite hand, start by interlacing your fingers between the toes. So you'll notice, my toes are pretty tight and curly. I can only get so much of my knuckle segment. Some people can get their fingers all the way down to here through their toes. That's okay if you can't. Just spread the toes with the fingers. And then we'll start to circle. Start with some circles. Move a little bit here so you can see. And then we go forward and back. So to the top of the foot, to the sole of the foot. And then you want to place your thumb, and I'm going to switch feet so you can see my thumb angle side. Let's switch the foot and hand here so that you can see where my thumb is placing here. You're going to take your thumb and you're going to push it in the ball of the foot. If you trace the ball of the foot to the pinky and big toe sides, it kind of makes like this little heart shape here. And it comes up in the center there, about between the second and third toe. There's a little spot there. You can kind of nestle. And that's where I want you to place your thumb in that point with your fingers interlaced. And then as you go forward and back, you're also pushing into and stimulating that point in the ball of the foot. So do that a few more times. See my thumb there. Okay. All right. And then we're going to take our opposite hand and grabbing the big toe mound and the hand on this side, bracing the other side of the foot. You're just going to pull down to bring the big toe back. And like you're pulling down on the big toe mound with the thumb, and then take your other hand and pull up on the thumb or on the big toe between the thumb and I like to use the thumb and this part of my finger. That feels like an area I can kind of grasp and pull. And it doesn't feel like I'm digging in because they're nice, kind of flat, wide surfaces. And I'm squeezing the big toe and then I'm pulling. And then I'm going to pull up as I pull down with the big toe mound with this thumb and this surface of the index finger on the top. So I'm pushing, squeezing them in, then pulling them apart. I'm just going to kind of wiggle this big toe into the other toes and toward me. So just wiggling it. You can see that. Just pulling up and just wiggling it. So decompressing this big tarsal joint here. Good. And then we'll move on. So the next thing we're going to do is kind of work all along the ball of the foot in 3 sections. So here right along the base of the toes, then through the center of the ball of the foot, and then through the bottom. So we're going to divide it into thirds here with these lines. And then I'm just going to work my finger pads of both of my thumbs like this. Just pass over pass under the big toe, then the second toe, and then the third and fourth and little toes. And then I'm just going to work my way back, left, and right. So spending, again, a little more time where you might feel electrical sensations. Maybe you're having some neuralgia in your feet and just trying to find, if you find sore spots, just trying to give those areas a little bit more time, a little bit more attention. And then we're going to go to the second. And this time I'm going to kind of push like this, like I'm kneading with my thumbs, alternating, and left and right. About 3 passes from big toe to little toe to big toe, and one more time back. Okay. And then the third section, so down along the base of the toe mound and in that point that we stimulated here first when we had our fingers between our toes, giving it a little extra attention, and about 3 passes left and right. So the next thing is kind of the same thing. Now we're going to take this third section of our foot, which is our arch, from the bottom of the heel of the ball of the foot to the top of the heel, our whole arch here, okay? It's kind of a little square section. And we're just going to work in the arch of the foot. And I like to do the inner arch first, just my thumb. And I'm just pushing. It doesn't require a lot of pressure. Just making some passes about 3 times. Then I'm moving in toward the center of the foot on the next width of my thumb section that I haven't palpated yet, and doing about 3 passes. So there's about 2 here, and then 1 down the middle, 1 section down the middle, and then a section next to that. So then there's about 2 more of my thumb width sections on the other side of the midline of my arch. And I'm just going to go up and down. Now to the last one on that pinky toe side. And then I might take my foot and just kind of hold it with this hand. I'll just kind of squeeze the arch of the foot. Just squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. What I've taken so far, just toes to heel. And then that's what I'm going to do last with my heel is, again, these sections of the fingers, this point and the thumb, and I'm just going to kind of squeeze the outer sides of the heel from the top near the arch to the back. And that feels really good. The heel is a lot of really dense tissue on one side. There's bony structure, obviously, but one side is really mostly dense tissue. And so it feels really good to rub that. And then I'm going to take my thumb in the center of the heel, starting at the top where it meets the arch. And I'm just going to palpate down the center, and then I'll take the sides with each thumb, working at the same time down the pinky toe and thumb sides of the heel, a few passes. And then I might do some of that kneading, a little bit more vigorous if I feel like it needs it. And then just give your feet a little squeeze. Going to the top of the foot then, I just get my finger pads in between the webs of my toes here, and I'm just going to drag gently. It's about a nickel's worth of pressure. So it's really light, just below the surface of the skin. And I imagine that I'm just kind of helping to drain fluid that gets trapped here, back up toward the heart. And even up here on the sides of the ankles, again, about this one I do about 5 or 7 passes, because this is all I do really on the top of the foot. So I give it more passes until I feel like some of the puffiness maybe that was there begins to subside. And then I come up to the ankle bones on each side that stick out and just kind of do some circles. Again, the pressure I'm putting in my finger pads is about just a nickel's worth. And I just do that kind of quick so that it feels like is having a circulatory effect. Circling, circling, circling. And then I come up along this space behind the ankle bones and in between the ankle bones and the Achilles tendon. And I can take my fingers, the thumb pad and the index finger pad, and I'm just going to drag up and squeeze gently. I'm just going to pull up. And maybe go back. And then, of course, do the other foot. So I hope you enjoyed this video and your feet feel better.